Hello, peeps. Single pulling experience, yeah. I'm feeling a little bit of burnout. I mean, if they give him the Evernight Sparksy treatment, even if he's supposed to be a sub DPS, he could still be pretty strong. Oh, it's up there. Hello. What the fuck? This is like those mobile games. What the fuck? Moto Gabby? Yep. Huge. Yeah, it means Asheville's teammate is probably in the last patches of version 4. Someone in Astropolis. Probably like Avon SP if I had to guess. No, don't buy me games, please. What the fuck? Why is he so tanky, bro? Oh, you can get both of them at the same time? Wish I knew that earlier. Constance is rotting in my account. Just pick up Buff Firefly. She'll probably be on 4.2 or 4.3. And she'll probably be like as strong as Mono Rem or near it. My guess is they'll put E2 Firefly in base kit and they'll make it so that instead of her E2 being what it is currently, her E2 will give her an extra turn every skill she uses. That's my guess on the E2 change. So instead of it being every other turn, it's every turn. And then the every other turn is in base. I mean, Anon Leaks has said that Firefly is gonna get buffed in early version 4 for like quite a while now. People just refuse to believe it because Dahlia was strong. Like every single time a leak comes out that people don't want to believe, they just say, "Oh, Anon Leaks is gonna be wrong," and then he's never wrong. Like it's always funny seeing the cope. 1 second, guys. Alright, I'm back. Oh. Guys, I don't give a shit about Saint, man, please. Like, holy. Everybody knows, man. I don't fucking care. Like, the guy's just gonna keep gaining an audience because people who hate him continue watching him. It's like a never-ending thing. Dude, how long is this, man? I mean, it depends on whether or not Asheville is like a Sparksy situation and his Eidolons. Because you guys need to understand, a sub DPS in 4.x is basically a main DPS in like 3.x. Like, that's usually how it goes. Like, you guys remember the entire Hyacine Tribute wheelchair? Also, Anon Leaks didn't say that you couldn't run Asheville with older characters. He just said that he wasn't meant for that team, which probably means there is some synergy, mostly just because of follow-up, but beta's in a few hours? Maybe. But, like, you're not gonna see any gameplay until fucking probably the next day. Oh, I failed? Oh. When did Faye become this hated? I don't think people hate Faye. They just don't want to pull a 2.x main DPS and 4.x for Asheville if they really like him. And then it's like, if they do pull Asheville right now, which they probably all want to, if he truly does have like mid sub DPS numbers, like let's say Cypher or something, that would be incredibly underwhelming for them. And they wouldn't have really any team to use him on until fucking late version 4. So Asheville mains probably do not like, they don't like the idea of putting him on a Fei Xiao team. I mean, I already said this before. It was obvious Asheville was going to be like the shafted unit of like this entire version. It was so obvious. I feel bad, but I mean, if Fei Xiao ends up getting a buff at some point, it could be nicer, but that's just up in the air. My Day's good with Cyrene, yeah, but he's like way, way weaker. He's like the weakest Ampho DPS. Like, there's levels to being good. I think they won't allow him to surpass Fei Xiao. I mean, dude, I don't know what you want me to say, but like Fei Xiao is dated as fuck. You guys are probably blinded by like these zero cyclers. Fei Xiao does not do the damage you think she does. Especially if you're in a sustain team. It's not that hard to make a 4.x sub DPS do more damage than Fei. I would like to remind you guys that if it weren't for Cypher getting her shit nerfed, Cypher's hyper carry was stronger than putting her as a sub DPS for Acheron in one of the beta versions. And we're now in 4.x, so I doubt they'd care as much if a sub DPS does damage. Why would a sub DPS compete against Robin? What? He's not competing against Robin, dude. Also, Cypher isn't anything special for Fei Xiao. People who are good at the game will legit just use Moze or March 7th and get better performance. No, I don't care about NTE. Popularity doesn't matter anymore. I used to use the same argument, but after these leaked buffs, popularity doesn't matter. It may play a part in how soon you get a buff, but that's it. Like, they're buffing Seal and Standard Welt. They don't care, bro. They'll just take their time with the less popular ones. Why? Because I don't want to play more gotchas, man. I have to repeat this every single time someone asks me to see and try a new gotcha. I don't want to play anymore. I'm tired. I play like 4 every day. I'm at my limit, man. Did they update the flying animation? I didn't even realize that. Yeah, they did. They updated the flying animation. What's the point, though? I mean, I'll take it, I guess. Do you still play Where Winds Meet? Not currently, no. Yeah, exactly. You guys need to understand that Hunk gets the Doom posting it does because most people are average players, and average players can't get the most out of Hunk characters. They almost all have very high ceilings, except maybe Ratio. Meanwhile, someone is using Mono Rem or Firefly, and it's like pretty obvious how you play that team. ST units have always had the most potential, not anymore. Mono Rem is just like, it is what it is. No, I wouldn't go into AMS sequences. Her weapon doesn't really matter. Let's not talk about Mono Rem. I mean, the thing is, it's probably going to be normal in the future. Even Faye. Like, Faye, at least once you go to like his E2 as 0, is like a god for everything. ST, Dish, Blast, 8 Perma AoE, because that means he gets more meteors and extra turns. Like, Boot Hill E6 makes him blast, which is funny. Yeah, Boot Hill Eidolons was kind of like a testing ground for My Day E1. Because My Day E1 makes his Godslayer AoE as a destruction unit. To be honest, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Ashvale is. He has no hype around him. Now confirmed to not get any teammates until much later. Not a main DPS. It's either they treat him like Sparksy and give him good Eidolons, so he like goes against everybody's expectations of him being mid, or he actually just is mid, which is the most likely case scenario, to be honest. At least until he gets his main DPS. Personally, this might sound, weird, but like I'm happy the guy isn't important and that he's only the only character running and that the patch is being shortened because that means I can just get Silverwolf SP that much faster and build my Sparksy team on my Cassie account. So personally, I'm genuinely happy that this guy got shafted on the inside, but the fans are probably not happy. People will say for 4.2, yeah. Him not being mid wouldn't change anything for you. I mean, it makes it easier to skip on all my accounts. Like, that's why I say it. If a character is, like, strong enough and meta enough, even if it's, like, far away from their best in slot team, I might just do, like, an early investment. Something like that. But if they're mid, I won't even think twice about it and just keep saving. Because follow up is like, at least currently, it's a cheap team. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty cheap team. One of the cheapest teams in the game. So sometimes, like, just for the opportunity cost, it's kind of worth it. I mean, once again, it is possible he's a Sparksy situation, and he can be ran main DPS, even though his role in the future will be sub DPS. However, we don't have like a precedent of a follow up sub DPS really being ran as main DPS and it being equal, if not better, as compared to other characters. You know what I'm saying? Like the closest you can maybe get is Hunt March 7th and Break with Dahlia. That's probably decently strong, but that's still probably not stronger than Faye. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, like, is it even follow up? uh, I wonder if they're gonna make Robin best in slot. Probably Robin SP. I don't think old Robin will be best in slot though. She could be, but we should be getting Robin SP in this version, probably in Astropolis. So I could see it being like Aventurine SP is the DPS, Ashvale the sub, Robin SP is obviously the support, which would be kind of weird. Both versions of Robin are follow up buffers, but I guess. Or maybe she could even be the sustain. Who knows? I mean, the other thing is, like, you can just wait for Ashvale's rerun. Like, if his teammates really are that far away, they're just going to rerun Ashvale whenever that teammate comes out. So it's like, you can just wait. Given the way. Here's the thing, I don't think this entire follow up team will be weak. I actually think this entire follow up team near the end of the version for Ashvale will probably be the strongest team in the game for a little bit. Because, like, the last DPS of a version is almost always the strongest for MOC. So it's seeming like this entire follow up team is at the end. So it's not like the team wouldn't be worth investing into. It's just that right now, I would not go for it, man. I would not go for it. Every team is the strongest for some amount of time. I mean, not really. Sparksy isn't the strongest. And by 4.2, when she technically probably should be, you'll have Annie, Silverwolf, and Yai, so. Sparksy isn't a team? What do you mean? What? Sparksy, Yao Guang, Buff Sparkle, EMC. Once we get EMC, I think she'll be the strongest? No. Because EMC is dropping on 4.2, which is the Annie, which has Silverwolf. I'm sorry, bro. She's not going to be the strongest at all. Literally, the second that patch drops, Silverwolf is probably going to be the strongest. Sparksy isn't an Aglaya. Like, you guys keep saying this, but she's probably going to be a best in slot sub DPS for Silverwolf. Like, this just isn't an Aglaya situation. Aglaya literally only has her main DPS. Can't get her team any stronger other than Eidolon investment and stuff. As a main DPS, I mean, even then, Sparksy is technically worse than an Aglaya. Aglaya was stronger than every 2.x DPS, even before the release of like Cyrene and shit. Same with Thurda. This time is just different. They decided to take a different approach. Do you predict Sparksy as a must pull? No. I imagine they probably, now that we know there's a good chance EMC is not a sustain, I imagine you can use EMC if you don't have Sparksy for Silverwolf, similar to like an RMC Cassie situation, but it won't change that Sparksy is best in slot. And the synergy will probably only increase as time goes on. Because you got to remember, it gets AHA instants become faster the more speed you have, and Sparksy's damage isn't anything to think that it's not that serious. Like, nah, it is pretty significant. So we'll see. Because you got to remember, RMC isn't best in slot with every single Remembrance character. Like, I've seen people automatically think that EMC will be best in slot for every Elation, but that's not necessarily the case. Why in the world? Oh, I thought that said Yai. I mean, Yao Guang, I think, is the safest bet of a pull. EMC is free, so it's like I don't see like in any team where the main DPS has a sub DPS, you're gonna want to use Yao over EMC. It seems like Yai is a hyper carry, is what I'm kind of getting at. I think Yai is probably going to be a hyper carry. And then when it comes to Sylvie, because she's the Annie main push, she's going to get the mono elation team with a sub DPS like Mono Rem. Oh yeah, yeah, that's why I'm saying Yao Guang. Yao Guang is like the most SP positive third slot support in the game because of her generating a skill point every elation skill she does. I remember seeing something apparently like every single cycle with like an E0 S1 Yao Guang, she's like 4 to 5 SP positive because of the amount of elation skills. So, plus her basic attacks. Very, very SP positive third slot. I'm still stunned at Huohuo Revival. Don't be stunned, buddy. They are probably going to replace those sustains at some point, if I had to guess. It would be cool if they didn't, but I just don't see a buffed Huohuo staying in an Evanescia team. Sorry. I bet you she'll be best in slot for Silverwolf as well, but I simply don't see it staying. It'll be like a Cassie Luocha situation. When like Gallagher was best in slot if you had Tribby, and Luocha was best in slot for Cassie if you didn't. And then she got Hyacine later, which just fucking shit on them. You are not expecting special energy Silverwolf? Oh, I forgot about that. I mean, I mainly say it for Yao Guang and Sparksy. And like, if we think about it, there isn't really any other sustain options right now. Like, who are you going to use? Don Hung PT? Like, if a buffed Huohuo gets better sustainability and less SP, like Edage, she'd still be better than any other sustain option for Elation until they get their sustain. But no, I do think Silverwolf will have her own gimmick ult, probably based off Elation skills cast by the team. She might be buffed to suit Elation. I just don't think so. I'm sorry. I don't think they're at all selling Huohuo for these Elation teams. She's just gonna be like a temporary best in slot, and she's gonna mainly buff the older like ER hungry DPSs like Eggy and shit. But I don't think at all they're planning for Huohuo to be a mainstay for the Elation characters. Doesn't really make sense. They're definitely gonna sell the Elation sustain later on. I mean, Anon basically already confirmed this. He said there would be more Elation characters after 4.2, but that it just wouldn't be that much. So one of them is clearly going to be a sustain. My money is on Nihilux. I'm probably going to say Nihilux. Either Nihilux or Blade. Blade is Elation. Blade is not confirmed Elation, man. He could very well not be Elation. How good is Evernight without Hyacine? And if you only have Castros for Mono Rem, it's like way worse. There's no point in sugarcoating it. If you try to run Cassie main DPS without Hyacine, it's genuinely garbage. Even with Evernight as a sub. It'll probably clear though. It'll probably clear. I think Pearl is obviously for Himiko. And I don't know why people keep insisting Pearl is going to be for Elation. Anon would probably know by now if they switched her path like they did with the 4.2 characters. They should still be preservation. Himiko SP having Pearl makes 10 times more sense. Especially since Himiko's SP's team is going to start being built on Astropolis in 4.4 plus. It makes the most sense for Himiko SP to get Pearl as a sustain. Pearl is for Himiko or Ash Veils. Yeah, maybe. Blade might be the next free 5-star. I don't even think we're gonna get another one. I mean, maybe. Uh, eh, nah. If I'm being honest, if there's one character I think is people are gonna disagree with me just because she's a woman, it's probably Robin SP. If you guys looked at that trailer when we saw like Robin in the Elation trailer and teaser, she barely looks any different, bro. Like I'm being so dead ass. Like she looks almost the exact fucking same. The only difference is a few details here and there. Robin looks so unchanged, it's hard for me to believe she wouldn't be free. I don't think we're getting Stefan, dude. This game doesn't release Shotas. Silverwolf barely looks any different. Yeah, sure, bro. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure, man. Silverwolf barely looks any different. Definitely. Isn't that her OG form? I mean, they showed basically every single character upcoming. I don't know. She looked like she had a different design slightly. Silverwolf might be like Phanon. Doubt it. Because if she is like Phanon and she goes into some dumbass departed state, then nobody on the team can do damage, which means, oh, Sparksy isn't a sub DPS for anyone. We all got baited, yay. But I highly doubt that. Sparksy's definitely going to be a best in slot for Sylvie. Sparksy, or Sylvie, Sparksy, Yao Guang, Elation Sustain down the line. And then temporarily they probably use like Don Hung PT or Huo Huo. It's probably how it's going to go. when it comes to main pushes, you guys really don't need to think, okay? Just don't use your brain when it comes to main push characters. Their team composition will always be the most obvious. You think Yao is going to be best in slot for two teams at once that are coming out at the same time? Yes. Like, I don't understand what your guys' cope is with Yao getting power crept. It's not going to fucking happen. And I'm tired of having this conversation. It's just not happening. Her entire kit is dedicated towards mono elation teams. Like, it's just illusion, man. Once again, this comes to the like, oh, we're gonna get 5 or 6 elation best in slots. I keep changing the team for Silverwolf. It's like people don't think, man. Cassie only got 2 best in slots. Oh my fucking goodness. Also, saying this when Cyrene exists is like genuinely wild. Yao Guang, you can compare her probably the best in terms of like what she does for her path to Cyrene. Guess how many teams Cyrene is best in slot for? I don't think she's getting power crept. It seems weird that you can't run both. You can't run both anniversary units at the same time. I mean, you probably can. It's just worse without Yao Guang. Like, tell me, what are you gonna do if you have Mono Rem and Anoxa, the 2 anniversary characters, and you have to decide which one gets Cyrene? They're probably both still gonna clear in their best in slot teams, but you gotta choose. This is kind of normal, bro. I don't know what you want me to say. Himiko being break is just a guess from me. People don't need to believe it. Yeah, it's like you either choose Yai or you choose Silverwolf as your main DPS. It's really that simple. If you want to pull both, then you're gonna have to deal with Yao Guang going here or there, right? I'd say probably a similar dilemma to this that I have on my Cassie account is Cassie and Evernight, right? Because I have them Eidolon invested and Evernight is so strong by herself as a main DPS, I get mad sometimes that there aren't 2 Syrenes in the game and 2 Hyacines. Because if there were, then I'd be able to have an E2 Cassie fully built one team and then an E2 Evernight on the other, just slaying the end game. But you just gotta sometimes take the hit and only go for one specific team. Himiko is not going to be with Ashvale, guys. Like, you guys need to read what the leakers are saying. Like, Anon Leak said Ashvale is not getting his main DPS for longer than it took Kafka to get Black Swan. It took Kafka to get Black Swan like 4 or 5 patches. Okay, this is way after Himiko's release. It's probably at the very end of version 4. So no, it's not gonna be with Himiko. Yeah, Ash Vale is probably for like Avon. I'm assuming Avin SP will probably be a DPS. And then it's Avin, Ashvale, whatever fucking third slot, and then sustain. Ha 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 ha. Good one, Moro. Good night, number one Ruan May fan. I already know that Silver Wolf E2 is gonna hit like crack, man. Oh, I want to see it. I'm an E2 merchant. Let me see it, man. I don't think SB Himiko will be follow up. I truly think SB Himiko will be break. I don't know why. I just feel very confident in it, which could end up going badly, but I think it makes a lot of sense. E2 Phanon will be better than E2 Sylvie. I mean, you're probably not wrong, but she's going to have the entire team doing damage, so still be stronger than Phanon anyway. Firefly Nova Flare makes me question if we are getting a new break DPS for a long time. I mean, the thing is, guys, the reason I think Himiko is going to be break is for many reasons. One, her currency war kit is break related. Every single time when it comes to currency wars, it basically always foreshadows a future character's kit. So you have break related Himiko. You have the fact that she is fire, right? The element that literally synergizes the best with this entire thing. And let's be honest, they can probably sell a better fugue. They can definitely sell a new break sustain, and they can sell a newer break DPS. Like, it just makes a lot of sense in my opinion. It's like the next best thing that they could chill. And it's like you're already seeing some similarities towards 2.x where like we're finally getting a follow-up unit, and when in 3.x the only one we got technically was like Cypher, right? But we should be getting a follow-up focused team, and the last time this happened was 2.x, right? We're obviously going to get a character with a gimmick ult for Elation that is similar to Acheron, who has a gimmick ult who wants people from her own path to inflict debuffs. Literally the only thing that's missing is a team that's break. You could say Firefly Nova Flare is this, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like they'd prefer to sell a newer team. Hello, Uni. Nothing much. I expected SPs to have a different archetype from the original. Brother, Himeko was never made for break. You know what I'm saying? Like, Himeko was never made for break. She's not technically. It's just that Himeko happened to end up being good with break. Unless you mean same element. I mean, maybe. Yeah, you can say it with like small Herda and big Herda are both ice. And both fucking pure fiction merchants. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I could be wrong, but like, I can't imagine Himeko being anything else unless they pulled out something completely new out of the bag, similar to what they did with Phanon in the Departed State, right? But if they like revisit an old meta, I do still think that Break makes the most sense to sell Himeko SP. It makes the most sense. It's like so easy to sell new break teammates in a sustain. It's so easy. Like, bro, people hate Ling Sha, man. People hate Ling Sha. They refuse to pull a Ling Sha, especially on break teams when you can run like sustainless with Mei. People fucking hate it. They could easily milk money out of that shit. Give me your reasoning why Himeko won't be Fua. Brother, common sense. I just explained it earlier. Bro, Anon said Ashvale is not going to get his main DPS until longer than Kafka took to get Black Swan. Okay? That is like 5 to 6 patches after Ashvale's initial release. That puts us near the end of version 4. There's no Himeko at version end of version 4. She's in 4.4. So she's obviously not follow up. This doesn't make sense. I'm not in stream. I mean, you were here though. You were here when I said it. I guess you just didn't hear it though. Oh, good. But yeah, since Anon Leaks dropped that little bit of information, it's basically guaranteed Himeko isn't follow up related. She is something else. Why are they releasing sub DPSs first? I don't know. I don't like it, man. I really don't. I don't like them selling sub DPSs first. This is a big criticism I had of WoW. I hate it when they do sub DPSs first. Because then it takes a while for you to see, like, sometimes main DPS performance without that sub DPS. It's annoying. Do we know Himeko is a DPS? Brother. Yes, the main push is going to be a sustain. I can't wait for main push sustain Himeko, man. That shit's about to be fire. She's a main push, yeah. It's fine, it's fine. I mean, not all main pushers are sub DPSs or like DPSs. An example is Cyrene. Now Cyrene, yeah. Cyrene, technically 3.x had three main pushes. They had Cassie, they had Phanon, and they had Cyrene. But it's pretty obvious, you know, Cyrene is, I think, a special occasion. Yeah, and Cyrene can be a DPS. Unironically, if I remember correctly, Cyrene DPS I think is better than My Day DPS, which is pretty fucking depressing, but you know, it is what it is, man. Yeah, they probably. I agree that that's probably the reason. It's just annoying. But yes, they probably started releasing sub DPSs first because they were tired of Anoxa and Evernight situations. They want to make sure this time that the sub DPS doesn't outshine the main DPS. Yeah, Sampo is the most likely, but to be honest, it's hard to imagine a main push being a sustain. Because I think that makes the most sense for Sampo. Unless he's like an Evernight situation. Like maybe he's the last DPS of the version. I don't know. He'd probably run like EMC Yao Guang plus sustain. It's really weird, bro. It's really weird. I don't know. It's just guessing. He'd be the EMC replacement? Then who the fuck's the Elation Sustain? I guess the Elation Sustain just wouldn't be Sampo, it'd be someone else. I genuinely have no clue who the Elation Sustain would be if it isn't Sampo, though. No, EMC probably Blade or Nihilux. Oh, Nihilux, yeah. Oh, yeah, Nihilux. Okay. Yeah. It's probably Nihilux. There won't be one? No, there definitely will be. Hoyo never misses the chance to sell a best in slot sustain. It's probably going to be Nihilux. This is probably why she got moved. Like, Anon said she got moved into, like, the later half of 4.x. Yep. Okay. Makes more sense. It's either Blade or Nihilux, but just because Nihilux is a woman, I'm more confident that Nihilux will be the sustain. So the mono elation team would be Silverwolf, Sparksy, Yao Guang, and Nihilux. Wow, that's a team, bro. That's a team. The white hair team. Oh yeah, you're right. Everybody has white hair. Wait, that's actually kind of funny. Although Silverwolf's isn't as white, but still. Cassie isn't pink either. True. People basically lied to themselves that it was the mono pink team, and they just decided to all collectively ignore that Castris is actually purple. Pink enough? True, true, true. Wait, wait, wait. Hear me out, hear me out. The real Mono Remembrance pink team, right? You have Evernight. You then have RMC, and you might say, wait, whoa, with the mem hat. RMC with the mem hat, Cyrene and Hyacine. That is the real mono rem, mono pink team, if you think about it. You just need the mem hat from the spending event. I hope Blade is a DPS. Maybe. I don't have the hat. I love spending events in my gacha slops. True. They change everything. Gonna have to quit Wua because I don't have any more space on my computer next patch. Oh, damn. Yeah, Wua's like 135 gigabytes for me on my shit. I think it's the game that takes up the most space on my computer. Thank God I got 2 terabytes when I bought this PC. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think EMC sustain would have been much better. I was kind of disappointed when I saw that shit from Anon. Like, you get a free Dan Heng PT. On top of this, you could select a sustain from the selector, but let's be honest, most people are gonna get Buff Sparkle or Kafka. So it's like free Dan Heng PT and then EMC as a sustain would have been generational. Genuinely generational. But, you know, I guess not, man. I guess not. This also means Sparksy main DPS. Sparksy main DPS ain't maxing out its potential until like the second half of 4.x at least. Which is like... it's questionable, bro. It's questionable. I don't know. How nice, Goku. Not too much on Sparksy DPS. EMC should be used on Sparksy main DPS on 4.2. I mean, that depends, bro. That hard depends. It's pretty wild to say EMC would be best in slot for Sparksy, buddy. Especially in her main DPS. Sub DPS is one thing. In main DPS, she needs that Sparkle SP gen. I'm sorry. She just does. She really needs that shit. Yeah, maybe in sustain list, but not in a sustain team. I just don't see Sparkle going anywhere. Unless EMC makes it so that he can give Thrill to Sparksy, like a significant amount, by the way, there's no way he's better than Buff Sparkle. Why are people coping nonstop? Yao Guang won't have any teams. I don't know. Doom posting? Or they just haven't read her kit. That's the most common one. People see certain characters not age the best and then correlate it with, oh, this is going to apply to another character, and they haven't read that other character's kit, right? So they don't actually understand what that character does. Like, if anybody who has fully read and understood Yao Guang's kit can confidently say, I'd say with like 90% certainty at least, that she isn't getting kicked out of Elation teams, right? Like, it just ain't happening, bro. That shit is like too mono Elation focused. It's kind of disgusting. Or just Elation in general focused, but yeah, like people who compare Yao Guang to Sunday are genuinely slow. Like, she literally, most of her kit is dedicated towards specifically one type of damage buffing, which is Elation. Her ult, Aha Instant. Her Eidolon and Vertical Investment, buffing Elation damage, right? And more Aha Instant shit. It's like, why in the world would they power creep a character who's basically completely reliant on specifically like being in Elation teams? It just doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, Sunday, like, even with all this controversy about Sunday not being meta for the upcoming, meta, Guy was still the most valuable support for a year straight because of his general value and his general buffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference. Yao Guang barely has any general buffing in her kit. Like, it is minuscule. It's just a little bit of res pen and vulnerability. But, like, for example, Tribby's like 30% vulnerability or 30% res pen. I think it's vulnerability, yeah. Tribby's 30% vulnerability alone is more general buffing, not including her res pen, as compared to Yao Guang in like a general team. Shit is that sad, bro. She is like fully dedicated towards Elation. Oh yeah, Sunday's not bad. He just doesn't really have many best in slots left anymore. It is kind of the thing that may bother some people. But yeah, Sunday ain't bad. You can still use him on a lot of teams. Some teams like Phanon, for example, like you could go for Cyrene and she is better, but it's an opportunity cost thing. If you already have Sunday, I just get something else, some other vertical investment. If the main push character isn't going to get much support after she releases, how are they going to be the strongest team of 4.x? I don't know how to break this to you, but the Annie character has never been the strongest DPS of their version. It's always been the last DPS. Fei Xiao was the strongest of 2.x. Evernight was the strongest of 3.x without Cassie. So she won't be the strongest, but she will be one of the strongest, and will probably have one of the most brain dead teams, and will probably be one of the few characters to get a full team shield towards her, which means she has vertical investment options that other teams don't. That's how you make it stronger. Just look at Cassie's team. How many people got as perfectly synergistic of a team as Cassie in version 3? Trick question. The answer is nobody. Fucking nobody, okay? Nobody did. That's the benefit of being the Annie character. Also, usually Annie characters are more universal. Like, you'll have some characters from other sides of things who like specialize in certain modes or certain targets or certain gimmicks. Annie characters are almost always good for like tackling every endgame. AoE, single target, blast, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you guys look at Evanesia's team, notice how she doesn't have Sparksy as a best in slot, right? That's already a dub for Silverwolf. You might think it's a bad thing that, oh, Silverwolf's team is more expensive, and maybe that is true, but probably means the team is also going to be stronger and more synergistic. That's just kind of how it goes. Yeah. Like, if you think about it, like, you guys, once again, this goes back to the Cassie thing, right? Cassie never had best in slots to begin with. And I'd been trying to tell people this all the time back then. She is 100% getting a sub DPS and a sustain, right? Like, this shit is basically guaranteed. I also think they're going to replace Tribby. People didn't believe me. It was obvious, right? If you actually look at it, Cassie did get 3 shield best in slot teammates. But that's it. You know? It just came later on. You could easily buff Sylvie DPS team with the Elation sustain and make it so that that sustain specifically has perfect synergy with the Silverwolf team and not many others, right? That's the easiest way. Because, like, for example, look at My Day. Hyacine is an HP scaling sustain made for HP scalers. Would you say that Hyacine makes the same difference for My Day that she does for Cassie? Fuck no, right? It's not even close. My Day got shafted hella hard when it came to Hyacine. So, like, this would be the same case scenario. It would buff every Elation DPS to release the Elation sustain, but the one who receives the biggest buff is probably going to be the Annie character, which is Silverwolf. I don't think Silverwolf is going to scale off a skill point gimmick. I think she's probably going to scale off of Elation skills or Aha Instant. I think that makes the most sense. Could be a skill point gimmick, but I don't know. Because the thing is, like, something people need to keep in mind, the extra thrill that Sparksy gets in 3 Elation or more teams to not consume skill points means she doesn't consume skill points, right? So in a mono Elation team where you're running her sub DPS, she's actually automatically consuming less skill points, which would seem kind of counterintuitive if the goal of Silverwolf's ult is to eat as many skill points as possible, right? It's kind of backwards. I don't know. All right, chat. Gonna end the stream here. I think Asheville Beta is today. If I'm awake, I'll post the kid at like 11 or 12. But if it isn't and it's like tomorrow, then, I'll just update you guys then. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.